The no True Scotsman fallacy. That is basically the claim that a person or group doesn't actually belong to the group that they identify with, because somebody who's making that claim is disagreeing with them or doesn't want to associate with them. So we hear this a lot with, Christians saying, "Oh, what they're not real Christians. They don't really follow Jesus. They think they do, but they really don't." And you hear this with, all the religions. And you also hear it with atheists, where somebody says, "I was an atheist, but then and they go on to say that they found Jesus, or they found God, or they found, whatever they found. But when they say, "I was an atheist," I'm inclined to use the New True Scotsman fallacy. I'm inclined to say, you say you were an atheist, but you weren't really an atheist. Not like I'm an atheist. Because I'm an outspoken atheist. I am someone who actively thinks about the concept of God. I actively think, why should I believe that there is a God? I have all these people telling me there is a God, and they all believe there's a God. Why should I believe there's a God? And I don't, so I call myself an atheist. But a lot of people who consider themselves atheists, or had considered themselves atheists, had never really thought about the concept of God. They weren't brought up in religious homes. They weren't told God was real. They knew about God, but God's like, it's like Santa Claus, which is kind of how I grew up, because I was not indoctrinated as a child. My family just assumed I would believe, and I didn't. So later on, when I expressed my disbelief, they were like, "How can you not believe that there's a God?" And I said, "How is it that you do believe there's a God?" But a lot of people aren't prepared for religion. I was exposed to a lot of different religions, and that's what I advocate. I advocate teaching children about religion, all religions. They should be inoculated from indoctrination, because that's what happens when you don't know about religion. I mean, an atheist is someone who doesn't think that there's a God, and religion is all about teaching you that there is a God. But there's lots of different religions because there's lots of different gods, and that's one of the reasons why I'm an atheist. But when I hear somebody say, "I was an atheist," I cringe, and I want to use the no True Scotsman fallacy and say, "You were not an atheist, you're a liar, you just think you were an atheist." Which is exactly what the no True Scotsman is saying, you just think you're whatever, but you're not really. And this is a dangerous thing, I think. It puts people off to argue with them about what they thought they believed. But it's also dangerous for people to not understand what religion is. And these people say, "I was an atheist." They were not prepared. They were not prepared to understand that when they came across someone that was very charismatic, very enthusiastic, very persuasive, that they can get wrapped up in that pretty easily if they don't understand why someone would want to, indoctrinate them. Because you can be indoctrinated as an adult. It happens all the time. It's pretty common in Europe. In Europe, they have a growing atheistic community, where religion is kind of no longer a part of the culture. I mean, it's slowly falling away. Though I understand in France it's becoming more so. In fact, they're getting bad as the U.S., which is pretty damn bad. But like in England, ISIS is indoctrinating, is getting a lot of volunteers to join Islam, because they're very charismatic and they're very persuasive. And these people don't understand what religion does. Religion basically gets your attention and convinces you of something that's not true by making it sound like it is true. So anyway, back to the no True Scotsman fallacy. I don't like using the no True Scotsman fallacy, but I feel compelled when people say that they used to be an atheist, that they weren't an atheist. I feel compelled to tell them, you weren't prepared. You didn't believe in God, but you were not adequately prepared for what religion is all about and what religion can do to you if you're not prepared. It's easy to convince somebody of something that they have no awareness of. It's easy to convince someone that something is true if they have no idea or have never given any thought to why it might not be true. Anyways, I am Tom, your friendly neighborhood atheist, and I just want people to think about what they believe. I find it very difficult for people when they tell me, I used to be an atheist, and I found God, and you should too. And I've done videos on that too. I've done a lot of videos. Have you noticed that? Anyways, just want to put that out there. I'll catch you next time.